So the first question I have to ask you is, what is the hidden job market,
Yeah, I know it's very mysterious sounding.
right?
The hidden job market is a way to describe the full uh, array of opportunities that are available to you. The problem that people fall into right out of the bat. Jobs are not job postings. Job postings are one tiny little sliver of what is available to you. So let's start by saying, what is the hidden job market? The hidden job market is the other 95 to 98% of opportunities, which to me can only be found through trusting individuals and building relationships instead of putting all of your ducks into the subservient row of Monster, Indeed, or whatever trash basically falls your way there. That's the hidden job market. And so, what I specialize in is helping people, whether it's you, whether it's anyone else who's sick and tired of being treated like that. And by the way, I've seen people right to the C-suite being treated like that to say, okay, you know what? If I can open up that channel, if I can start the business of getting offers and opportunities, if I can make it abundant, clear, easy, and on my terms, then all of a sudden I don't have to deal with that. And then all of a sudden I can secure roles whenever I want. I can make whatever moves I want. I can be a mom and actually take time out and raise a child without the stupidity of coming back and being judged for that, which I've seen over and over again, right? All of this starts becoming a reality for you when you start saying, okay, the hidden job market or the full market or the entirety, that's what I'm actually after, not just the crumbs.
Like I know it, I don't know so many like opportunities in general, but I know the tech industry in Israel, and for sure, many of the best positions are when you bring a friend along. Somebody knows someone, and then he brings him into the country, into the company. So that makes sense. Are
It's
we
it,
talking
it,
about that?
it's yes. I would say all what you're saying is perfectly right. All opportunities are based fundamentally on pain, and pain and your ability to identify pain, relevant pain, and align to it is what an offer is, right? And so the easiest way for you to do that is through talking, dialoguing, and getting into a place of exchanging real information at the high level and doing it not as a job seeker but as something else. But yeah, you absolutely hit that like
Okay.
right out of the bat. Yeah.
And I'm just asking, is it like building your own venture part of the hidden job market? Like being a consultant is part of that, or are we talking only for employees?
Yeah, I think, in our day and age, I think for someone to go out there and put an arbitrary barrier on themselves and saying, I only want a full-time role, I only want a consultant role, does it really make any difference at this point? At this point, the only way forward is to be somewhat entrepreneurial about your pathway. And for you and anyone listening, what do you care? Like, why do you care so much about whether the structure is X or Y or Z? I would say get clear on the impact, get clear on who you're working with, make sure that there's desperate commitment between the two of you there for the high level, then make a decision about what you want to do there. But I think in 2023, absolutely, it's asinine for anyone to be out there and say, however it happens, however we want to structure it, we structure it, right? But let's not put the cart before the horse, right? That's a post offer late stage consideration. That's not a consideration for right now, and not the consideration for most of you listening, by the way.
But when I think about it, I see a big gap then when you are an outsider or a consultant or part-time or you're working on different initiatives or with different companies than being really full-time in a position. And if you're talking about the commitment, you have much more commitment for employees than for
Well,
someone
it's
working
not it's
outside.
not no, it's not entirely a binary thing like that. For example, yeah, you might be at the right stage in your life where you're like, you know what? I want to see the ripple effects of the impact that I do. So I want to have that say in a company. But look, I've worked with just as many people who they're coming at it from a totally different option. What if you had just spent 8 or 9 years being stifled at one company? With all due respect, the last thing you need is to find another company that does exactly the same. Maybe for you, spending a couple of years getting your feet wet with different companies, making a certain kind of impact happen over and over again, breaking out of that box once and for all, doing that even for a short period of time might be a much, much smarter move than for you to say, you know what? What I really need now is to have another long term relationship. Let's put it in a relationship context. You don't always want to be looking for the next husband, right? Sometimes you want to hook up with someone, right? Sometimes you want to do something differently in your life, right? That's what I'm saying. Don't be linear with this. There's more than one answer here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is that in order to see ourselves in our career, we need to really understand what is like we are a talent, we have skills and capabilities, and we see it as a business. How can we utilize it? And it doesn't matter if it's in this context or other context, we need to build this ourselves as a business. And we need to relate to it as a business and not just someone who's taking everything to one place or to the other. You need to be more flexible in the way that you see what you could offer.
I think a way to describe exactly what you're saying here, because there's I would say there's like five major changes almost that anyone can start thinking about to break out of this. What you say there, yeah, what are you bringing to the market? So most people, they would say I'm a conglomeration of skills. So if I'm an operations person, I got lean skills, I got agile, project management, blah, blah, blah. That's what I am. That's what I'm going to market as a big conglomeration of messy skills without any context. Okay. The other one, which I'll see again over and over again, is like you spent like 5 years working at Amazon and you got this like really weird idea in your head that everyone is going to respect Amazon. So now you're the Amazon operations expert. That's how you brand yourself. That's the first role everyone sees, not realizing that in our environment you could have just as many people being like, God, you worked in that glorified sweatshop. So the question is, what's the answer here? The answer I would say is to ask yourself, what is your process? So for you, Adi, it's not about these are the roles that I've had, here's the podcast I've been a part of, here's the conglomeration of things that I can do. If you were one of the partners of that company, just think like that for a second. If you had equity stake in driving a company forward, it wouldn't really matter how you got there, whether it was marketing, ops, or whatever. You have a mandate to move this thing forward. So if you were to ask yourself, what's the commonality in the roles that I've had, and what's a way that I can spark a kind of change that would be valid and give me a point of view in all of this, if I were to brand myself around that. So, in other words, using the operations thing, if I were to say, look, what do I actually get paid for? What I actually get paid for is not operations. I get paid to align this big, messy machine that we have to really aggressive sort of targets and do it no matter what that scale is. So for me, there's a right and a wrong way to approach growth now. There's a right and a wrong way for me to align and a way for me to have a conversation that is more than please, please me. I got operation skills, right?